And then we have the body together for the first time, and it actually feels really good. I thought it was going to be a bit of an issue gluing this together because of the shape. Turns out it wasn't too bad after all. It helped having these little routs to clamp into. However, now the lower horn is glued in, it's apparent that the access to these higher frets is quite limited actually, and I think I am going to have to do something about that. And that's going to mean taking some of the material off this heel area and probably also put a bit of relief into this lower horn. And fingers crossed that will give me all the access I need. But before I do that, I'm going to fit the strap buttons and put it onto a strap just to give me a better understanding of what that's actually going to feel like when it's in a playing position. And unlike Gibson, I'm not actually going to put one of my strap buttons in the back here. I don't like them in that position generally. So I'm going to put obviously one at the base of the body and one here on this upper horn, such as it is. So I'll get on with doing that, and then we can just see how this sits on a strap and how the access into these upper frets works in that situation. And there it is on the strap. Actually feels really, really nice. Hangs nicely, it's well balanced. Obviously there's no hardware on it at the moment, but it doesn't feel like the additional weight of a set of tuners is going to make it neck heavy in any way. So that feels really nice, but that is really limited access into there. And one of the main reasons is it just feels really cramped. So I'm going to remove quite a bit of material from the back of this heel. And I think what I want to do here is actually kind of do away with as much of this big lump as possible. Now, I don't actually think it's doing a huge amount structurally. We've got a multi-laminate neck, so it's going to be a very strong piece of timber, and removing that bulbous lump there, I don't think will make a huge amount of difference. So potentially we could kind of scoop out the whole of that area and just kind of have it going down to meet with the rest of the neck. Actually, that might have worked, but I think the way that the body is raised up from the wings might potentially make that look a bit odd. I'm going to bring it around something like that. And I think that should hopefully remove enough material that we can get our hand in there just that little bit better. And realistically, there's only a couple of tools we need to get the bulk of this out of the way. That's a chisel and a mallet. Okay, so I've been working at this for a little while now and I've just had a try and it's a little bit better, but it's not anywhere near where I'd like it. So I think I'm going to go a step further and I'm going to put quite a heavy comfort cut into this lower horn and I'm going to extend that into this section of the heel, which means we'll have kind of an asymmetric feel to the heel of the neck. But on a guitar like this, I don't think that's actually a bad thing. It will go with the already very asymmetric look of the guitar. So to start with, I've already put some pencil marks in here where I want my cutout to go. And I'm just going to start as far as I can. I'm going to take a pull saw and just cut some slots in. To just cut down to each of those lines, first on one side, and then when we reach back to that line, we can drop the saw, cut down to the second one, and then just make sure that we've cut down evenly and there's a straight line between them. And with that done, we can then just start working the rest of that material out with a chisel and a mallet, and hopefully those cuts will stop the chisel from chopping out more material than we actually want to. so that's the bulk of that material taken out of there. Just needs a little bit of a clean up, probably just with a rasp and a file, just to get that nice and smooth. So next up, I'm going to start taking out the material from the other side, and realistically it's just the same trick. Start working that material out with a chisel. Okay, so that's the bulk of that material taken out of there. There's a little bit of cleaning up to do, but it has made access to those upper frets just that bit easier. I can get in there with my pinky, but also my third finger, and you get a bit of a bend on there. So it's not ideal. It's not the best access ever, but it does work. That's the main thing. So I'm going to carry on and do a bit of cleaning up on this, just smarten it up a bit and make it a little bit nicer to look at. I might also just take out a little bit more material from the back of here just to make it look a bit prettier. But with that out of the way, we're kind of running out of jobs a little bit. The next job I want to do is properly fit and secure both of these control cavity covers in place. And I used to play in bands, and my philosophy around equipment was you want equipment that's going to be absolutely bulletproof and isn't going to be an issue when you're playing gigs. And to that end, I've always been a fan of screwing these in place. However, on this one, I think screws would somewhat ruin the look. So for the first time ever, I'm actually going to try and hold these in with magnets. I imagine this one's going to take more than just a few to hold it in, but I've been playing with these, and these are, for their size, they're exceptionally strong magnets. So that's going to be one of the jobs we need to do. We need to put the output jack on, and that's going to be kind of on this lower wing adjacent to the control cavity. I need to get a stereo output jack because we need a stereo one for some of the electronics, which will be explained in a later video when we wire this all up. Apart from that, I don't think there's any major jobs to do. With that done, we're into finish prep, finishing, fret dressing, assembly, setup, and a finished guitar. So we are getting a hell of a lot closer. But I'm going to leave this one here. All of that stuff is going to be for the next episodes. So until then, don't forget to hit that like button if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.